pull the string, pull the string.
Scoodly, wow, wow, wow.
Hi, area backstage.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Andy, and we're from The Devil Wears Prada.
So imagine you have
2005.
2005, couple trashy kids from Dayton, Ohio, skateboard, ride bikes, start a band together, start playing skate parks, sign a record contract with Rise Records, go out on tour, make no money in the next 3 years, still love it because we're idiots, and then things just happen to work out, the right time, right place, and next thing you know, we're doing Sons of the Underground, we're doing Warped Tour, then we do Mayhem.
That first year of touring, we had to work around school schedules.
Yeah,
because,
from two of the guys
two
that
of
were
the guys
still
were
in school.
And,
So they literally grew up on the road. We grew up on the road, like since we
Yeah.
were 17, 18.
Yeah.
And now here we are 10 years later on the Mayhem Tour with Slayer and King Diamond. So some people are very, very lucky, and we are those people.
So getting together to write this time around was a little different. One of our founding members, Chris, left last winter, and it gave us the chance to rework how we do things. We started writing stuff with our friend Kyle, who's playing guitar with us right now, and that gave us the chance to go, gave us a fresh view on things, and
Yeah, Mike started writing some songs and stuff too, and like he's always played guitar, but now it kind of forced us into going like, hey man, let's try and see what happens, and it was actually really awesome. So we almost look at this like a new chapter for us. We don't even know where things are going to go, but we're really, really pumped about it. So
yeah, and this being an EP themed on space, it gave us the chance to explore a little bit, do a few things differently that we wouldn't do with a full-length album normally, and just, explore what we can do within certain confines.
yeah, totally. It's like it's way different now than it was. The internet changed everything. We kind of came in right as that curve was shifting, but it really doesn't change anything for a band that just cares about music. There's always business, there's always money. You make more, you make less, you make decisions based on that. But really, we've always been the kind of guys that write music first and play music first, and then worry about everything else after that. So when we go to make an album, we don't care about how it's going to do or what's going to happen. I mean, we care, but that's not. You sit in a room and write an album, then you figure out if anyone's going to like it or whatever. But I don't know. It just, it changes, it evolves. It's probably like any other industry. And as long as people still come to shows and want to hear heavy music, then.
Yeah, I mean, in particularly recently with the streaming stuff going on, I mean, there are pros and cons about that. But one of the pros I see, which is the same thing earlier on with the internet days, like when it first started becoming a huge thing, is you get the chance for this, like, short attention span ADD like nation to, I'm gonna stream a song right here real quick and see how I feel about it, instead of like making them sit down and like buy a record or something to get the full effect. So good and bad both ways as it progresses.
I say the biggest piece, we get asked that a lot. What's the advice for young bands? The biggest thing I can suggest: write songs that you like, play music that you like, and do it for that. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. Some of the greatest bands I've ever seen are nothing, and no one cares about them. But they were who they were, and they do what they do. If there was a recipe for success, we would all follow it. If I could instantly make 20,000 people come out to my shows, I would do it, but there's not. So what you have to do is you just write music you like and play it with passion, and people pick up on it.
Yeah,
and
they can feel that.
It's no guarantee that it's going to work, but at least then at the end of the day, I did something I'm proud of. I play music because I love it, and if it works out, awesome. But don't get ahead of yourself and do all the promos and worry about this and pay all this money for this stuff. It's like, just play music because you love it, because otherwise there's no point.
Yeah. That said, I mean, that's what my go-to initial comment on that is: keep your integrity and try to just like do what you like to do with it. You can't. I mean, I guess you could go wrong with it, but most likely you won't go wrong if you're sticking with that.
I went to POD concert at Bogart's in Cincinnati, and that was crazy. But I also, what was the festival that it was? Limp Bizkit, Deftones. What was that called? Family Values Tour. Yeah, went to that. Went to Linkin Park, Korn, and Snoop Dogg at Project Revolution. I was like a radio rock kid. I love that stuff.
My first shows were local, not all local, but punk bands coming around, like the Jackalopes from Dayton, Ohio, which whatever, they were great. And then Blitzkid was going around at the time, and those are the first two that really got me into like.
He was like an elitist punk rock, like kind of douchey guy, so it was great. He wore the same Samhain and Misfits shirt to school every day. It was great.
I get a lot of shit for it all the time, but I still like to play Dead Throne a lot.
Yeah, he loves the Dead Throne. I like all the zombie stuff. That's fun. It's fast, but
I might say with playing Supernova now off the new album, I think that might take its place. I really enjoy playing that.
yeah, it's fun, and people actually like it, which they never like new songs, so it's cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
We've really not. It's crazy. We never had any changes to the band at all, ever. And then we parted ways with our keyboard player maybe a couple years ago. Actually, it was like 4 years ago now, maybe. But yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of at different places with things. And so after that, we brought in this new kid, John, who's awesome, super genius musical guy, and really get along with him. So he helped a lot with writing songs and moving on and just getting into the next chapter. And then last fall, our guitar player Chris was basically, I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard to be on tour all year round, all around the world. It's the most fun thing ever, but it's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think for him, and like he had a baby, and so it just wasn't right for him anymore. So it was mutual. We're like, dude, do what you got to do. So that change, I think change can either be a negative thing or a positive, and for us it's been really positive because now it's like brought out different sides, and Kyle that's playing with us is awesome, and as long as we still got Mike, I think we'll be okay. So
Yeah, no, everything's been great. It's definitely like refreshing to all of us in the band, I think, and it, like I said earlier, Kyle and John both bring new viewpoints. Even John's been with us for 3 or 4 years now, and still like he's getting more comfortable writing stuff with us and getting into like, technically this will work and we should go with that instead of this. And Kyle just he has a bank of things just coming out, so it's exciting.
Well, that kind of comes back to what I said earlier about just write music that you like. As we've gone on, there's so many things that you look at and say, should we do this? Should we do this? This really compromises our integrity as artists, but it could be quick money. You don't want to do that, because I know we wouldn't be sitting here 10 years later if we just did whatever worked at the time. You have to do what you want first, and then everything else will follow, or it won't, But I guess our legacy would just be that at the time we wrote the best music we knew how, and put on the best show that we knew how, and that lesson can be applied outside of music. Do the best you can with what you have, and don't compromise. So
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, we always try to put on the best show we can live, so that's a big part of it. And also just looking back, being able to say like, no, they weren't something like this band and something like this band, but they were the Devil Wears Prada, and I think that would mean something. So
Just check out the Space EP. We worked really hard on it. We're really pumped on it. It's loud, it's heavy, it's fast, it's cool, it's fun. And we're getting ready to work on some new music. We're having a blast out here on Mayhem. We're only at day 3, and it's a blast. It's awesome. Got Slayer and King Diamond, so if you like metal, it's the place to be.
And October, we're hitting 10 years, so celebrate with us.
We have a Facebook. It was TDWP Band, and then we have like Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. So you can find us on there.
All right.
Hey, what's up? We're the Devil Wears Prada.
And you're watching Bay Area Backstage.
We are injury free. Come to show 'em where I am.
Destroy the humanoid. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Intruder mana escape.